As a small fragrance channel, am I making any money at all? Am I currently broke as a result of constantly buying fragrances, even though they are Middle Eastern fragrances and they are considered affordable or cheap? I have dedicated my channel to solely Middle Eastern fragrances, and those come in quite handy when it comes to other niches because they are considered more affordable. But even with that, how has that affected my finances? Do I find my YouTube channel by myself? How do I go about it? Why do I want to be the first person to review newer released Middle Eastern fragrances? Is it intentional? Do I rush to get these perfumes as soon as they are announced so that I'll be the first person to review them? Why am I always wearing wigs? Why do I feel offended when people complain about my wigs? These and so many questions I have that I want to address today. Let's get interactive today. I just want to be a little more raw and honest here today. I'm not going to talk about any fragrances per se, but these are some questions I've been asking myself and some facts I want to share with my audience. I don't think I put my private life out there here on YouTube. I'm quite private. I used to be a very outgoing person back in my university days, but over the last 10 years, I've been more reserved, so I don't really have a lot of friends, and I don't think if you ever ask any of my friends what I'm up to, any of them will be able to tell you. That is how private I have become in the last, decade or so. I have become so private to the extent that sometimes, I wonder what I'm doing to myself, not going out that much, not interacting, not sharing. I hate to share. I really hate to share my private issues, However, I'm here to share some private information that I have not seen any fragrance YouTuber, share before. People are quite private when it comes to finances, especially here on YouTube. They will not give you an idea as to how much they are making. So a lot of people do not know what exactly is going on. But in this video, I want to address that, whether I make any money whatsoever from this channel. So let me just start off by saying I got monetized a year ago. My channel will be 2 years in June. I'll be exactly 2 years in June. And I got monetized after the first year. But I didn't really see much money coming in from AdSense, And currently, the only money I make from my YouTube channel is my AdSense. I don't have any collaborations and, other things with anyone, except for Joma Shop. I'm an affiliate on Joma Shop, but that is very fresh, so I'm yet to realize anything at all from them. However, in the last couple of months or 1 year, almost a year, I've made just quite a bit on YouTube, nothing to really write home about. I think the biggest check I'll ever receive will be the one that will be paid next month, May, from the AdSense estimate. I think I have about $400 ready for me, and it's the middle of the month in April, so hopefully I'll be able to make more and probably make between $400 to $500, and that is going to be the highest I would ever receive from AdSense. I'm not here to be a mouthpiece for anyone. I'm here to share my challenges, my experiences when it comes to being a fragrance reviewer or someone who owns a fragrance channel. So what I would say is I got monetized, but before I did that, every single fragrance that I showed on this channel was paid for from pocket. And if you live in a country like Ghana, where we don't have access to credit when it comes to a lot of facilities like credit facilities or debit cards, paying with card and all those, it is usually like cash in the hand, back for ground or back in the ground, So every single fragrance you see me here, and I believe a lot of my African sisters here would attest to that, we pay everything up front, and whatever you get, you cannot return it. There is no policy of returning these fragrances. So for the first year, whatever fragrance I bought was from my personal account, And before the fragrance channel, I think I had about 40 fragrances in total. Before I started YouTube, my personal usage, I had about 40 fragrances, which I was, happy about, But having a fragrance channel, you need to sustain it, and that comes with buying. And when it comes to financing this channel, I think my saving grace has been the fact that I usually speak about Middle Eastern fragrances, which are on the less expensive side. So let's say I make about $200 a month from AdSense. what I have promised myself to do is to live within that, you know, whatever I make within the month, I will try to purchase fragrances within that amount, or just a little over it, something that I think I will not, you know, feel uncomfortable around. Because for the past year, I was just making around $100, you know, per month from AdSense, 100, sometimes 120, you know, and it's been progressing steadily to the fact where I'm now seeing myself making about $400 to $500 from AdSense on this channel. So I'm not going to say I am necessarily broke. I am not, you know. My world outside of YouTube is financed, you know, differently. I finance it myself. I don't have any sugar daddy. I have a baby daddy who is also quite generous. I'm not sleeping with him though, you know, he's just a baby daddy. That's it. We've been separated for over 7 years, ever since I got pregnant. We got separated in the course of my pregnancy, so we don't sleep together, but he's just a generous man. What I can say is I have committed money into fragrances that I could have otherwise used, you know, for so many other, you know, more important things. That is the truth, you know. I can't quantify the exact amount I've spent so far, you know, outside the ones that I'm getting from AdSense, which to me, it's nothing to really write home about. But I'm also grateful for that money, honestly, because just imagine not getting anything at all and you're using whatever little you have to fund something that is not going to give you anything in return, you know. So at least I'm so grateful that at least getting something. My channel is beginning to get some more engagement, and get a little money to be able to recycle, you know, to fund this fragrance channel. So for the past, let's say, 6 months, most of the fragrances that I buy, especially Middle Eastern fragrances, you know, I would say I try to fund them out of the little money that I get. If I buy anything extra, those are because I really want to have those fragrances. In the last couple of months, I think I got blanche baked. I wouldn't say I got blanche baked out of my AdSense, you know, money that I just wanted to have, you know, for my personal use. Other fragrances, so many fragrances, you know, even if I didn't have a channel, I probably would have got those fragrances. So I don't consider them as my fragrance expenses on this channel. I just consider them as my own fragrance expenses, you know. And then those that the fragrances I get for my YouTube channel, that is what I consider, you know, from the little AdSense money that, you know, that I make. Moving forward, I think I want to move from the notion of having this channel as a hobby. You know, most people will claim they have these YouTube channels as hobbies, and then, you know, it turns into something else. But for me, I think I've gotten to a place where I feel I can actually make something out of this other than a hobby. You know, it's good to have it as a hobby to start with, and then you can build on it, and that is what I'm trying to do, you know. So I hope and pray that, you know, it's become something much more than a hobby for me. You know, I'm far from being there right now, but I hope moving forward it will grow into something much more sustainable income to supplement my main sources of income, you know. So that is that for it. When it comes to being the first to talk about new fragrances, it is not a challenge, you know, to me per se. I think a few occasions I've had people, you know, I don't know if they are disgusted by the fact that I'm sort of mostly the first person to talk about some fragrances, not all, or the fact that I get those fragrances first, you know. And you hear comments, or you see comments under your videos like, she's always in a hurry to review the newer fragrance. I'm not always in a hurry to review any newer fragrance. I just so happen to get them, you know. I don't get them from anywhere special, you know. I'm here in Ghana. There are vendors that a lot of us have access to. I'm not the only fragrance channel here from Ghana. There are other fragrance channels, and we sort of all have like the same access to the same sort of vendors. I happen to always be on the lookout as soon as these fragrances are out and I'm interested. It's not like every single fragrance, but most of them, if I'm really interested, I'll just pick them out, you know. And the goal is not to be the first person to talk about these fragrances, but in as much as you have a fragrance channel, one of the things you want to do is to be able to make your audience happy, in the sense that you want to bring them things that are refreshing, that are new, you know, that are exciting. You cannot deny the fact that people want to see things new all the time, you know. It is not really sustainable, but in as much as I can, I'm going to do that, you know. I will still do that. If I get to be the first person to talk about it, so be it. But I'm not in a rush, I'm not like in a hurry. I'm not walking over anyone just to be able to get the newest thing and talk about it. I just so happen to have access to that, and I believe if any person at all or other people have access to those fragrances, they will surely talk about it. And then it becomes like people are quite offended by that. I don't know why, but what is even wrong if I'm the first person to talk about certain fragrances, because I don't know, is it because I'm not your favorite, fragrance channel, if your favorite fragrance channel did it, would you be offended by that, and you don't know the challenge it comes with being the first to talk about any new product, when it comes to any niche at all. When it comes to fragrances, and let's say there's nothing to rely on, maybe there's no structure and everything is not even out, and you have the products in your hands. And trust me, it is not the easiest thing to have a product in your hand and be able to say, okay, I can smell bergamot, I can smell peony, I can smell this and that, unless they are the obvious, So to be able to sort of sniff those things out, sometimes you try to get as accurate as possible. At other times, you totally be, thrown off, and people have issues with that, I've had issues where I've reviewed fragrances, and people later, maybe 2-3 weeks down the line, when others have done it, they'll come back to my comment section and say, you said it was supposed to be a clone of that, it is not, so you are not reliable. And I'm like, look, I'm just human. The best I can do is to tell you what I think these fragrances smell like, I'm not going to say these are the exact things, Sometimes, I'm not privy to even the original fragrances. Some of the fragrances are supposed to be duping, and I try my best to explain some of the notes and everything. So it's not easy being among the first to review anything, especially there's no information out there. So I hope people bear with me, I don't think anybody do video with the aim of the video tanking, The truth is, if you are one of the, let's say, the first 3 to 5 people that talk about any fragrance, of course you are likely to get the engagement. It's not always the case. It is not always the case, but you are likely to get the engagement. And people, we are working so hard. Okay, I'm talking for myself, it's my moment of honesty. I try to work so hard. So, of course, I would want the numbers. I would want the engagement. I would want the subscription. I would want the likes, I would want everything, because I'm trying to move it from just a hobby to a business, and if you are thinking about business, you're thinking about numbers, and that is the reality on the ground. I don't do videos with the aim of putting in the hair, the makeup, the dress, you come and sit in front of the camera, you film for about 1 hour, you edit to about 30 minutes, and then nobody watches. Nobody would want that, and that is the truth. So, and as much as I try to put in the effort, I sort of have a little or low expectation. However, I just keep my fingers crossed anytime I put a video out, that a video will do well, because you don't have any control over how the algorithm is going to play when it comes to your video. But what you have to do, or what I normally do, is I put it out there and just keep my fingers crossed that the video do well, that is all. Or at least I'm able to get whatever money I used, in financing that particular video. Let's say I bought a fragrance for about $30, and I do a video. My expectation is that at least, if not for anything at all, let me be able to make about 80% of that money in the first day or first 2 days, and then probably subsequent days I can make the rest. I just want to break even, I don't want to. I've gotten to a stage where I feel like I'm not going to stop buying fragrances, and it wouldn't make any sense to buy fragrances without getting anything in return, unless of course you want to really do it as a hobby, and not get anything in return. But for most people, even if you are doing it as a hobby and you get something in return, I'm sure you'd be glad to have done that. So the goal is to at least break even, make whatever money I put in it, to be able to recycle and then fund the channel, because I need to sustain the channel, So when it comes to being the first person to review, it's not always about me being in a hurry or wanting to surpass every other person. but I just happen to be in a jurisdiction that, you know, gives me that proximity to these fragrances, you know. And let's say I have some very reliable vendors too, you know, and I'm not the only person who has access to these vendors. A lot of fragrance channels and fragrance vendors or enthusiasts also have access to these same vendors. Moving forward, I think I'm also trying to move from getting full bottles always to getting something quite sustainable. I know decants and samples are also a headache on their own, you know, because sometimes they get mixed up and all. But I think I'm good with, you know, my over 200 bottles. If I never even get a full bottle of any fragrance, I'll be content with that, you know. But as a fragrance channel, to be sustainable, you need to constantly get, you know, bottles of fragrances, you know. But I'm trying so hard, you know. If you have realized on this channel, since the beginning of 2024, I've been trying to get more and more decants, you know, to speak about them, because a lot of the time some of the fragrances honestly are not like a love for me, you know, and it wouldn't make any sense to get full bottles after a review and then, you know, put it at the back of the shelf. So I prefer to, if I'm able to test them, get decants, you know, at least like 10 mls, which are quite, you know, a lot to be able to test them over a period of time, and then be able to get myself abreast with the scent profile to be able to talk about the fragrances. So I think that is a little more sustainable for me, you know. Personally, I would definitely be getting my full bottles of fragrances that I love, you know. If I try them and I love them, why not? Or if I really hear so many positive things about them and I feel strongly to getting full bottles, I definitely will. But I think for the most part, I've been, you know, incorporating smaller bottles or 10 mls, you know, or 7.5 mls into my collection, and I think that is quite, you know, a direction I want to be able to sustain, you know, although I will still be picking up some full bottles. Currently, I don't have any particular company or any store that I get like free things from, PR. No, we don't normally get those things here locally, so I normally buy from vendors, you know. I would love to have that, you know, but I'm not like, I'll not be fighting and, you know, moving mountains to get PR, because when I started the channel, I didn't even know much about that, you know. I didn't start a channel thinking I was going to get PR or to sustain my channel on PR. That was not how I started the channel at all. I knew I was going to put in a lot of money, you know, so I started because I thought I could, or I knew I could, at least when it comes to Middle Eastern fragrances, you know, I could afford those ones. I didn't want to go into a niche that I will be stuck after some time, you know, with fragrances which are quite expensive and I cannot sustain. That is why, you know, I chose the Middle Eastern route, you know, because before I started my channel, I think about 80% of my fragrances that I had were not Middle Eastern. Honestly, they were not. They were designer, celebrity, you know, fragrances. Just a few of them were Middle Eastern fragrances, you know. But once I got to start this channel, I realized that to be sustainable, to be able to afford these fragrances, I need to be a little smart about certain things. And I found the Middle Eastern route to be more beneficial to me, you know, because I couldn't, personally, I cannot sustain the niche, you know, the niche category or the designer category, you know. I cannot be buying because I don't make any money from AdSense, honestly. Like $300, $400, $500, it is not much, you know. It is quite an amount, but it's not much to be able to buy me like niche fragrances and designer fragrances, you know, frequently and be talking about them. So I think going with the Middle Eastern route has been my saving grace, you know. It has been my saving grace, and the fact that I have access to a lot of them very early. I have seen how my channel is, you know, growing. I think exactly a year ago I had just a little about 1,000 subscribers. Now I have about 4,400 subscribers, over 230 videos, you know. And that is to say, I'm so grateful to a lot of you who, you know, have stood behind me from day one. There are so many people I can mention on this channel that it doesn't matter what video I do, you know, they will comment, they will like, they will support, you know. There are so many, like there are some core people here that, you know, if I don't see their comments for quite some time, I guess for like, where are they, you know. It's not like as if they owe me anything to comment, you know, under my video, but I guess think about them, you know. Oh, it's been a while I saw this person or that person under my comment section, is he or she okay, you know. And I'm so grateful to such people. Honestly, I think there are a few people that, you know, I've gotten into contact with, that we speak on phone, you know, and I enjoy that too. So I'm so grateful that this channel is growing, you know. I don't buy any views, you know. I'm trying to grow organically. It is not the easiest thing to do, but I would rather do that than any other thing, you know, because I just hope people will see the work I'm putting in and probably, you know, subscribe to the channel and help me grow the channel, you know. So that is basically what I have about my channel. There are so many challenges, you know. I don't have any help. I film, edit, you know, put the video up myself. I'm the director, the writer, whatever. I do everything myself. I think a lot of us, you know, because it's a small channel, I can't bring any help from outside, so I try to do everything by myself. So I hope people see the work I'm trying to put in, and I try to be as creative as possible, you know. I try not to just create any videos for the sake of creating them. I try to put in some effort, you know. And if you watch my videos, you see that I try a little to do things which are outside of the norm, you know. And I hope people see that and appreciate my videos for that. Honestly, that has been the goal, you know. The goal is to challenge myself, do videos that, you know, I'll sit back, look at them and be content or happy about them, you know. There is always the easier route out, you know. When you study the whole thing, you know the easier route out. Sometimes we all take the easier route out, you know, the videos that will give you the numbers, but it's not always about the numbers. You know, sometimes you want to really put out certain videos, you know, that you think will be of value, you know, and that is what I normally seek to do, you know. So I'm open to criticisms, I'm open to positive ones, you know. I've had a lot of very nice people complimenting my hair, my wigs, which I thoroughly appreciate and enjoy. And I've had some very unlevel-headed, you know, people, to put it in the best, you know, possible way. They are not level-headed people, you know. They will come comment about my wig, tell me how, the audacity to tell me how I should wear my wigs, whether it is too long or too short, whether it is this or that. Like, the audacity, like, who does that? I can never go under someone's comments and comment about their appearance, you know. That is like very personal. If you have anything about my videos per se and criticize me constructively, definitely I will take it, but not like my accent, you don't understand my accent, my pronunciations are this, they are that. Look, I'm totally Ghanaian. There is nothing I can do about my accent, my pronunciation. That is how I've been brought up to read and write, you know, or to speak. So you have to bear with me. I know there are so many incredible level-headed people here, but you know, every now and then you get these people getting on your page and getting on your nerves. Then you have to block them, you know, and then you see them at other people's videos doing the same thing, and you go like, what is wrong with these people, you know? But I mean, to each their own. So that is all I wanted to share with you today. If there is something that you want to know about me when it comes to this channel, I'm open to that. You can ask me anything, you know. If I feel comfortable enough, I'll respond to that. If I don't feel comfortable enough to respond to that, I'll just let you know in the comment section. But I'm trying to open up a bit, you know, be a little more transparent, let you know my thoughts, where I try to stand when it comes to being a content creator, and when I intend to take it, you know. And I would absolutely be elated if all of you, you know, anybody who watches my video supports me in one way or the other. I'm not asking for anything, please. All I'm asking is for you to like my videos, subscribe to the channel if you constantly watch and you have not subscribed, you know, like them and share. That is all I'm asking from you. Thank you so much, and I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.